From the newest developments in realty and construction to the hottest trends in design lifestyle.
We bring you the top thought leaders, most trusted brands, and the most exciting projects in the industry.
To guide you in acquiring, building, and living in your home wherever it may be.
I'm Jules Cruz.
I'm John Aguilar.
And I'm Isa Litton. Come home to Realty TV Podcast. Welcome to Realty TV Podcast. This is a spin-off of Philippine Realty TV, the first real estate and construction TV show in the country, airing since 2008. Philippine Realty TV is the top-of-mind television medium for anything related to the real estate and construction industries. Now, we welcome you to its new podcast form. Realty TV Podcast will present more in-depth discussions and features on everything real estate. Realty TV Podcast is also available on YouTube and Facebook. So greetings to all of you, our dear listeners from the Philippines, Asia, and beyond. I'm Isa Litton. As one of the Philippines' well-established property developers for more than 30 years, Phinma Properties has tackled numerous projects ranging from upscale townhouses to low-income housing development. So joining me today, we have Mr. Roberto M. Lavinia, the chairman of Phinma Properties, and Mr. Rogelio M. Garcia, the vice president for business development. And I believe we will be discussing all about Phinma Properties and their future plans. I'm sure our topic for today will definitely benefit a lot of people, especially first-time Filipino homebuyers who want to live in a nurturing community. Welcome to Realty TV Podcast, Mr. Roberto Lavinia and Mr. Rogelio Garcia. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon, Isa. Thanks for having us.
Good afternoon, Isa. Hi.
Good afternoon. If I may, I'm allowed to call you Bobby and June, right?
Of course.
Nice. Kwentuhan lang po tayo. So, let's start from the very beginning. I like to always take a personal account before the actual business talk. So, Sir Bobby, how did you start in Phinma? What was your first role?
I joined Phinma right after I finished my MBA.
Immediately, Wow.
And so a few years ago. And then my first role was assistant to the executive vice president and general manager of Phinma.
Wow.
So that's probably the longest ever title I've had.
And that's fresh out of your MBA, ah? Wow.
Right.
That's a big role, Sir Bobby. No pressure? Or you were excited?
Assistant lang naman.
Lang naman talaga to. How was your growth in Phinma then? So from that investment assistant initial role to now, the journey to chairman. Congratulations.
Well, interestingly, my first assignment as an officer, because you're an assistant to the GM, so he can put you anywhere. And that has been a hallmark in Phinma. You can be assigned anywhere. And one of the companies they assigned me to as assistant treasurer was Phinma Realty at that time, no? Which was the precursor of Phinma Properties. And then onwards to other responsibilities in agriculture, in energy, in cement, in GI sheets, in consulting, well, even in hospitality. So there have been many assignments, so to speak.
But that's good because you're really exposed to different facets, different departments as the company grew. So you grew to embrace it and you grew in it, with it.
Yeah, I would not have stayed if I did not embrace it.
Oh, wonderful. And I think it's really a good thing when you said, when you're under the GM, pwede ka kung saan-saan. Because sometimes, even with the security of a job, a title, a role, some people feel stuck. And I think for your journey, you never felt that way. Is
No
that
way.
correct?
Nope.
There's
Nope.
always a new challenge, a new learning.
Yep.
Oh, that's great to hear. Thank you, Sir Bobby. But for June, it's a different story. June, you joined
Yes.
Phinma rather recently. Not too
Yes.
recently.
Not as long ago as Sir Bobby here.
Graduate lang ni Sir Bobby. Oh.
Graduate ko lang, ha?
I came from another industry. I came from the insurance and financial services industry before joining Phinma Properties. I think Bobby talked to me about an opportunity that I may want to explore with Phinma Properties latter part of 2014. So I had my interviews, then joined Phinma Properties January of 2015. I started as assistant director for sales and then moved on to handle sales and marketing. And recently, I was assigned to head the business development group. So relatively short span, short period for me compared to Bobby there.
But again, even with you, your entry into Phinma seems to have expanded to still different areas of growth. And for
Yes.
you, it also worked. I should like to think that it's something you enjoy.
Yes, I do. I started exclusively with sales, then that expanded to handling marketing as well, then customer engagement, then now business development. So different facets, different challenges, which
Your
is
back
fun.
your background in insurance definitely helped. Would you say?
Yes, it did. But I started my sales and marketing career basically with the real estate industry way back in 1994, revealing my age also. And then I moved from real estate to insurance, then back to real estate.
Okay, wonderful. And again, I can see that from your cuento, right? It's always nice to start on a personal note. So you know the people behind the company and why these people are part of the company. There's a certain pride and affection, I should think, especially if you've been around a company for quite a number of years, like you two gentlemen have. So let's talk about the actual company and brand now. What is Phinma Properties all about? Who'd like to start? Bobby?
As I mentioned earlier, Phinma Properties started as Phinma Realty Corporation many years ago, um, way back in the 1960s, actually. It started off as when we wanted to set up for housing for our employees.
Oh, okay. So it started for your own. It wasn't
That's
even for
correct.
for others. It was like we want to take care of our employees.
That's
Wow, that's
correct.
nice, huh? Yeah.
That is correct. We started off by developing a company housing for the employees, and then moved on thereafter, as you said, to providing homes for other people, for the general public. No, we went into low-cost housing, we went into townhouse development, we went into luxury townhouses. You know, as far as luxury townhouses is concerned, I don't know if many people know this, but we actually developed the Manila Polo Club townhouses. That's still there, no, and being used by the members, no, and
So
we've
you know
continued.
luxury. It was, you started also in luxury market.
Well, we had gotten into that market as well, so we've been in a whole gamut of different types of housing since then.
How about you, June? Your entry. If you would like to say something about Phinma Properties, what would you say is your short backgrounder?
When I joined Phinma Properties in 2015, the it was very clear to me that the objective of our company was to provide affordable housing for our fellow men. But at that time, different projects had different themes. And very recently, we realigned that to a more easily identifiable type of project to the name Finma Properties, which is more or less the Filipino by nature, Filipino themed projects in nature.
I hear the word Filipino proudly from both of you, from both Sir Bobby and Sir June. So, uh, every company has their set of vision and mission. I have no doubt that servicing the Filipino people is part of it. Am I right, Sir Bobby?
That is correct.
Doctors, I like how actually, Bobby, you started it. We started Phinma Properties or Phinma Realty to serve our own, to help our own. Ang sarap po nung pakinggan yun, Sir Bobby. Because, because you get into a business for profit, let's look for a market, di ba? You look for consumers. It's always so out there. But you looked out for your own.
Our mission is to make lives better. And this is part of our DNA. This has been part of the DNA from the very beginning when Phinma was established. And so, as Jun mentioned, providing homes for the Filipinos is just part of the whole deal.
But the vision then, if your mission is to care for your own, to provide, what about the vision? Where is Phinma Properties going, right? You started with this vision in mind. What was that?
Our vision is to become the preferred developer for the first-time Filipino homebuyer. We want the first-time Filipino homebuyer to want to buy from us when they make that leap from renting to owning.
Something that hopefully later they can echo the same pride in your tones. I hear it loud and clear. Really, Sir Bobby and Sir Jun, dito kami. Diba? Yung parang akin to. Especially that one, coming from Kaya. I can only imagine, because I'm also that, right? The whole, when will you own? Well, kaya ko ba to? Gusto ko ng something that's my own. I want to start something, not necessarily for a family, but for myself. Stuff like that. Those are things that go through everyone's heads, especially in buying property. It's so daunting. But you want to make it achievable. Am I right, Sir Bobby?
I think Jun mentioned it earlier. Developing affordable housing. That means housing that is within everyone's means, no? And we're not only talking about affordability. We want people our buyers to buy a quality home so that it is something they can be proud of, to show off to their relatives and friends. Something that will keep them safe, something that their family can thrive in as they get older.
Why do you think Phinma lasted this long? Of course, I want to throw this in already as well. How is Phinma Properties different from other real estate companies? Let's talk about your uniqueness.
Did you want to do that first?
Okay. Yeah.
Go ahead, Sir Jun.
I believe, Isa, that one thing that separates us from other developers or makes us unique is basically the fact that we espouse Filipino culture, Filipino
Values.
traditions, yes,
Yeah.
values as well. For example, in our property management group, we have our own property management group. Manages our communities. When residents start to move in and occupy the units that they purchase, the property management group takes over, and this group sees to it that security is there for all the residents, the families, the children. We provide activities that are shared within the community during Christmas or even Mother's Day, Halloween. So there
You're
are a
part
lot.
of them. So you're part of them. It's not like I turned it over to you, bahala ka na. It's not like that at all.
Oh,
You're
because
still involved.
this is our own property management group. So we have a lot of interaction with them, starting from the move in. That, I think, is what sets us apart. No? When you stay in a Phinma community, in a Phinma project, you immediately feel that you belong, and that the Filipino-ness of the community is actually shown. No? The bayanihan spirit, people help each other out. Ngayon na nauso na yung community pantry. You're very familiar with that. We have our own version of that. And it goes beyond the community as well. During calamities, I remember in one of the project sites, we had to take in people from outside our community and make them stay within the community for safety reasons. So things like that. So we are very proud of that, which makes us, I think, unique from any other developer.
I think you're really saying it's very Filipino. You know,
Yes,
you're not just a brand, it's not a company, it's a community.
it is. Yes.
Wow. Sir Bobby, I just see you nodding with pride. Actually, Sir Bobby was beaming when Sir June was making cuento. How about you? I mean, of course, Sir June really had such an emotional description, you know, of what Phinma Properties is all about. How about from you, Sir Bobby? And maybe in terms of products, besides values and culture. I think Sir June said the values and culture well. But when it comes to products, how about you, Sir Bobby?
I talked about the past, and the various things that we've been into. Over the more recent past, more recent histories, we've shown that we've decided that we will do more in what we call the affordable housing, even though we are in other segments as well. No, we are in luxury and as well. No, but we decided that we would do more in the affordable because there is such a big gap. There is such an undersupply of homes compared to the demand for homes. And well, I'm sure that many other developers are doing the same thing. But I am proud to say that our product, in my opinion, obviously, is superior. We actually use poured concrete, yung tinatawag na buhos. We don't use hollow blocks. We use it's poured concrete, so we have a stable, a safe edifice there. The buildings we make are definitely very safe, and so the quality of the home is such that our buyers will or can live in it for a very long time.
So not only has
To
the brand,
generations.
yeah, it's not just a company that has lasted decades. Your products will last as well. You want a home. You want somewhere for your roots to take, for you to take roots. If you were to establish a family, this is not temporary. And it's something you can own with pride. I really hear that. It's with pride. In fact, going back to the Filipino-ness of Phinma, you have this taos-pusong malasakit at alaga. In fact, you call it Tama, right? Taos-pusong malasakit at alaga. There are 5 M's involved here. Could you take me through that?
The Tama program actually is a two-phase program which encourages our employees to provide excellent customer service and
Tamang serbisyo.
tamang serbisyo.
Diba,
They're
tama?
recognized. They're recognized for that. The tama 5 M's are mahusay, matulungin, magalang, maaasahan, and malambing.
There's
If I
even
got
affection. I like that lambing factor. I mean, mahusay, you do it well. Sorry, mahusay. I've heard
matulungin,
helpful.
maaasahan, reliable,
Reliable, dependable.
magalang,
Of course, respect. You can never win
Yes.
anyone over without respect. And I
And
like
then-
that 5th M, the malambing.
the malambing.
There's a little affectionate quality there. There's that. How do you say lambing in English, right? It's really something very innately Filipino, I think.
Yes.
It's not
I don't
sweet.
think it has
It's not
an
sweetness.
English translation.
It's not. It's more of affection because you treat each other on a real comfort level, on a familial level, right? That you don't, you're not malambing with just anybody, especially if you think in work terms. So I think we got to know Phinma through this, the Tama, taus-pusong malasakit at alaga. Okay, I think it would be better then, from talking about the company or the brand in terms of describing it, let's talk about your projects. And I believe in this podcast, we'll be sharing 3. So Phinma Properties, we already mentioned, gentlemen, you want to benefit Filipino families, right? First time home buyers, Filipino home buyers. So let's get to the specifics. Let's start from the south. Metrotown Las Pinas. Okay, let's talk about this project. Uh, Inspiration, reason
Okay.
behind Metrotown Las Pinas. Who'd like to take it?
All right. Metrotown Las Pinas is we recently launched it. Official selling started, I think, about January. Soft selling started January.
Of just
Official
this year?
launch this year, yes.
Oh, okay, okay.
Official project launch started March, and we're doing very well. It has a very unique tagline, designed for the driven. Okay, so so we have a very specific, yeah, we have a very specific target market in mind here, Isa. No? Driven individuals. In fact, we had Gretchen Ho and Nico Bolsico as our guests during the official launch. But we wanted to provide a sanctuary or a home for individuals who are driven and motivated. No? So we provide them with the with the venue, for example. Their units have access to well thought of amenities when they want to relax and unwind. They have units that are equipped with fiber optic facilities when they have to do their work from home. Yes, they have access to commercial establishments nearby and within the site itself,
No
as
need to
well
go
as
out of your way, yeah, so you can keep
yes,
going. Yeah.
yes. It's like self-contained already. So these individuals can continue with their passions within the community itself, not necessarily going out of the community, but it's
You don't want to
there.
slow them down.
Yeah,
Metrotown is for people who's just on the go, specifically those who have to fuel, have the drive to
drive.
for success. Tama ba?
Yes, correct. So basically that was the idea behind Metrotown. We offer for startup families as well as individuals, single. So we have 24 square meter studio type units and 48 square meter two bedroom units. And the location as well is very ideal because
Yeah, Las
you're
Piñas.
Las Piñas, right? You're within minutes away to Makati, for example, the Central Business District, Alabang Central Business District, and with the road network system now, you can go as far as Quezon City or Ortigas in just a matter of minutes. So it's very ideally located.
June, more on the features. You mentioned studio types and one bedroom. Are there like three bedroom units? Because after all, you're not for big families. I think Metrotown is again for people on the go, for the driven, startup. What's your biggest unit like that?
The standard offering now is the two bedroom unit, but you have options to combine units in the floors. No? So that option is available should our buyers want that option. But right now we offer standard, either the studio type 24 square meter or the 48 square meter two bedroom unit.
Why the title of Metro Town? Diba?
Okay,
Parang metro, talagang busy.
it's actually a, funny story because we have a joint venture partner in this project. No? Um, this joint venture partner project has been excitedly pushing for this property. In fact, talked to us several years back, but it never really pushed through. But he also had a name in mind already. So
Ah, okay. So
which was
the idea came with a name.
with a name, which was
Yeah.
Metrotown, and that was one of his requests, to retain the name, and we simply uh, took that name and
Bagay
flew
naman.
with our ideas. Bagay naman, right?
Oo.
Bagay naman.
Especially for a tagline nga for the driven. Diba? Nice. Sir Bobby, anything you want to add about Metrotown in Las Piñas?
Well, I was there. I went to the site at the launch, and well, not and I think it's very well located. It's by a major road. It is there's a commercial hub right beside it, so it's really going to be convenient. In fact, I would say that of all of our projects,
Right
current
now.
projects, this
Yeah.
is probably the one that will have the the most amenities right outside the development itself.
Which is perfect for
Magandang
driven.
location talaga.
Yeah, amenities wise, again, from the fiber optic cables to making sure everything you need, be it for errands, for food, is all within reach, to having some sort of escape. Because let's not forget, we invest in our own homes for comfort, for an escape, not just to do what we're doing, but let's still look at home as some sort of sanctuary. Am I right?
Yes, that's correct.
Nice.
That's a
Okay,
good word,
so
sanctuary.
yeah, home. Because nowadays, especially with, since the pandemic happened, home is hardly a sanctuary now, right? Because now you bring in your work at home, which is perfect because, like you said, with fiber optic technology in Metrotown, it's not slowing you down. So you still have your home and you can still do what you need to do because you have the drive for it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Stepping out of Las Pinas now, let's all go all the way really down south of the Philippines. This is Arezzo Place in Davao. And if I'm not mistaken, it is your first project outside Metro Manila. Your first project in Mindanao also. Is that correct?
Correct.
Who wants to take this? Why Davao? Why do you think Davao is perfect?
That's correct, Isa. This is, as you said, our first project outside of Metro Manila. The reason behind choosing Davao was, as we all know, Davao was booming at that time. No?
Still is. Still
Still
is,
is.
actually. Yes.
BPO industries were coming over to Davao, setting up their head offices there. Other developers were also putting up projects left and right. So it was really a good time for us to join the rush towards the Davao area. Plus, you add to that we had a very strong Phinma. The Phinma group had a very strong presence in Davao, owing to our cement group, which was already there. So we had very good established connections in Davao. So it was a perfect place for us to start or to venture outside of Metro Manila. So we launched this project way back in 2014. It has done very well. In fact, we're down to our last two buildings for sale. There is already an established community living within the Arezzo Place Davao uh, community itself.
Tell us about the community that is thriving in Arezzo Place now. In fact, what's it like? What's it like to live there? Is it like Metrotown that you are also on the go? Is it more laid back?
Davao is more or less more laid back than Metro Manila. So the community in Arezzo Place is rather laid back. It's a mixed type. You have local residents
Mm-hmm.
who bought units from us. We have a lot. Let's Place Davao is in fact one of our projects which has a lot of overseas workers who bought, no, from us. So there's a good mix in terms of age. Also very varied. We have retirees. We have startup families. So it's a very fun place to be in and to stay, whether you're starting with your family, you're retiring, laying back a little. Very nice place.
And of course, there's still two buildings to go. So for
The
those who would
last
like
two,
to
yes,
to, to
last two.
join this community, there is space for you.
Yep. I in fact challenged my sales manager in Davao that he should sell out those last two buildings before the year end. So he's
How many
pushing for that.
units? How many units, Sir June, per building?
There are 90 units per building.
Okay, that's a lot. Yeah, that's a big community, actually. And of course, the amenities are all there for everyone to share. There's still
Yes,
guaranteed space.
yes, yes. The clubhouse is very nice. We have a pool and a clubhouse, complete with function rooms, working gym, for example. Lots of open spaces as well.
So that you don't feel like you're cramped.
Yes.
Yeah. How about the influence? Of course, with the word or title Arezzo, very Italian,
Mhm.
right? So Arezzo is, I believe, in Tuscany.
Yes, you're correct.
Those are the
Tuscany.
yeah. So why this influence? Why an Italian, Tuscany influence for the Davao project? What was the inspiration behind it?
Okay, we have to go back again. At that time, this was about 2014, 2012. Uh, Very popular. It was a very popular thing to be Italian inspired, Mediterranean inspired. So
It
we
still is
had
actually. People still go for that too.
yep,
Yeah, the feel,
we,
the
we,
look.
we had our first project, the sister project of Arezzo Place Davao in Pasig, which was likewise Italian inspired. So it's
Mm.
called Arezzo Place Pasig, and it was very successful. Market accepted it very well. Uh, the design concept. So we all thought it would be a good idea to basically transplant that from Pasig to Davao and see how the market accepts it. And our marketing team, they did their own research, doing focus group discussions about the design and the look and the feel of the community. We got very positive results. No?
They
So
want it. They want
they
it in
wanted it. They
Davao.
wanted it in Davao, and I
Yeah.
think our success or the sales rate, the reservations, will prove that we made the right choice.
Are there similar projects? I have to ask this one. Again, for people shopping for a home or a place to call their own, what makes Arezzo Place Davao, again, unique, different from the other similar projects in the area? Because it's across the board, for retirees, for empty nesters, for startup families. So why will I go to Arezzo Place Davao then?
Uh, I mentioned it earlier. I think it's the community itself that stands out, that makes it unique. But aside from that, I think we offer very good value for money. Value for
Pastor
money.
Bobby's beaming with pride. Yeah, he's like, yes, that's really what we're all about. Sorry, go ahead, Sir June.
Yeah. So value for money in the sense that the unit prices are affordable. We make it in such a way that we hit the sweet spot in terms of the monthly amortizations for our particular target market. No? So we're right there. But at the same time, you get very good quality, very sturdy structures. In fact, you know that Davao is like an earthquake magnet. So I think an earthquake occurs in Davao every month. And the Arezzo project buildings have withstood these earthquakes with no problem. So you get all that. You get value for money. You get a very nice community. You have uh, you have a very stable investment. The prices have gone up tremendously from the first time we started selling in 2014 where it is now. So overall, I think our market in Davao is very satisfied with the Arezzo Davao.
And you can be one of those satisfied people also. That's why there's two more buildings to come. If you made that sweet spot of monthly, may I ask for a particular figure or at least a bulk?
Okay. Since we're at that
Yeah.
affordable segment, the sweet spot for the monthly amortization would range from about 8.5 at the lowest to about 14,000. So if you're within that range, you're okay because you have to remember that as Bob mentioned earlier, we're targeting actually rental replacement. So these people
Yeah.
used to pay rent, and now instead of paying their rent, putting it
It's
in their
their
monthly
own.
amortization to own their house.
That is a very sweet price, actually. Thank you for sharing that, Sir June. Sir Bobby, what are your thoughts on Arezzo Place, Davao?
What I can say is that this has been so successful that we are going to have two more projects in Davao.
Wow. So from a first time to put a project up there to it just goes to show you've been accepted, you've been
We've been
embraced.
accepted. Yes,
Yeah,
we've
and embraced. You got people in Davao excited for more.
yes, yes, and we will be going into the different types of housing this time. No, we will have slightly higher end and slightly lower end. So we're trying to deliver what the market needs,
Yeah. So
what the market wants.
this one is that mid-range. It's something mid affordable. And of course it's a condo. It's high rise, right? So now you will be giving more options for those
That
who
is
have
correct.
more, and for those who may ask for a little more affordability.
Yes, yes, that
Wonderful.
is correct.
And congratulations. It really just means your entry into Davao it has opened more opportunities for Phinma.
Yes,
You're not
it
stopping.
has. Yes, and we're very happy to be there because, as I said, it's actually the second home of Phinma.
Wait, it's not just in Davao. Okay, you're not just active in Metro Manila. You went to Davao for your first project outside NCR, but you also have one in the middle, which is in Cebu. Your project is Uniplace it's actually a school, Southwestern University Village. Uniplace at Southwestern University Village in Cebu. Who would like to take us through this one?
Phinma owns Southwestern University.
Okay.
It is part of our Phinma education network of schools. No? And we are, as of today, we now have 10 schools all over the country. And when we acquired Southwestern University, we acquired together with it certain parcels of land, which were owned by the university. Now, our vision there is to have a university town, where the students, the faculty, the administration can actually mingle and live and do their recreation, not just study there, but to actually live there and to enjoy the comforts that they're after normally. So this project, Uniplace, was intended, first of all, originally, well, it's going to be composed of two towers. And one tower was supposed to be a condominium project, a housing project, and the other one was going to be a dormitory project. Now, because we have foreign students, approximately about 4%, 5% of the total population of Southwestern University are foreign students who come to Southwestern, to SWU, because of the quality of education, particularly in the medical sciences field. Okay, so they require housing. If it is if it's within campus or in SWU village, then it becomes very easy, very convenient.
And if I were a parent of one of those students, I'd feel more, I'd say my child's secure.
That's
They
right.
don't need to commute just to go to school, and it
Yes.
lessens the burden for me as a parent to have to look for another place, like the security of that place. Will you have enough to eat? But being within the university grounds, yeah, security top of mind is already puts me as a parent at ease.
Certainly.
Yeah.
And of course, somebody could ask, yeah, wait a minute. Wala nang face-to-face. There's no face-to-face
Good point.
schooling now,
Classes.
right?
Yeah, for now, yeah.
No, for now, no. But as you said, for now, okay. So what we have done is first selling everything as residential, but easily convertible into dormitories. So you can actually buy a unit. You can decide to use it yourself, and then eventually you decide, maybe I'd like to upgrade to a different Phinma Properties project in Cebu, di ba? And therefore I want to convert this unit into a dormitory. That can be done. So from own use, it can become a real investment, money-making investment for you.
You can rent it out.
You can rent it out as dormitories.
Yeah.
We partnered with a dorm operator, very big dorm operator who has a lot of experience in that business. That they provide you with a worry-free investment. So they will be the ones who will be managing the dormitories, leasing it out, taking charge of the security. So all you have to do if you're an investor is choose whether you want immediate return on your investment, put it in the dorm pool. But if you're, for example, a parent who has children on their third or fourth year, they can use it for the meantime. And when their children graduates, they can now put it in the dorm pool and have it rented out, as Bob mentioned earlier. So it's a very unique type of project. I think it's going to be one of the first of that type in Cebu. And
Let's,
again,
let's talk features because again, it's unique in its own. It's not like Metrotown for people who have jobs already. And this echoes what Sir Bobby started our podcast with. Phinma taking care of their own. You're continuing to do it, right? Let's take care of our own because this is a university that we already have. There are students already here, probably faculty even, right? So it really echoes that until now. So let's describe the community, the living, what it's like to live there, features, and distinguish. How is it distinguishable from? Do you see other universities in Cebu doing this?
um, not as of the moment.
Yeah.
As
So
far as our marketing research goes, I think we're the first one to do this type of project within a university.
you're paving the way.
Yes, we are. We are definitely. Well, one of the more important features, for example, our dorm units come fully furnished already. So
Already, okay.
already, so it comes with the bunk beds, the study tables, the toilet and bath fixtures, for example. So it's just matter of moving in right away or purchasing it, then looking our door managers looking for tenants. The residential units, on the other hand, offer you more flexibility. It's delivered to our buyers bare. Uh, so they have the option if they want to live there first, they can furnish it according to how they want it. And then, should they choose later on to convert it into a dorm, then we can offer them the same type of fixtures. So it will be uniform with the other dorms in the lower floors.
Sir June, can you cook? Is there a cooking area?
Uh, you are allowed to do microwave, okay,
Okay.
to do microwave cooking, but uh, it will have its own pantry on another floor. It's a common pantry cooking area where students can gather. You have an area where they can study, they can eat. You even have a roof deck should they want to chill out in the open air environment, which is very important now. So very well thought of, I think. Plus the fact that again it's inside the campus, so walking distance from the other buildings within the university.
Should you be a student of SWU to avail of this? Or is it okay for me to still have a unit there, but I'm actually studying in another university? Is that okay?
Right now we're giving priorities to SWU students right now, but of course the residential units are a different story altogether. Okay, so you might be a student from another university but purchase a residential unit, so you can stay there. Okay, but the dorm units are more or less given preference for students of SWU.
Okay. Sir Bobby, any thoughts on this? Again, it's very different from everything else that we've talked about so far under the Phinma Properties lineup of projects, especially for this year.
Oh, yeah, it's among the top things we want to complete within SWU town, within SWU village. The whole concept of a town can give rise actually to, well, gives rise to the possibility of well, of an enclave, which can be converted into what we are now calling, under our circumstances, a bubble. Diba? You can convert it into a bubble. When you live and work and play in the same
Area.
contiguous area, then it becomes easy for you to have all of the experiences without exposing yourself.
The fear, yeah.
So of course, we're hoping that this is not going to last long, no? That this pandemic ends quickly. But whether or not there is a pandemic, the fact that you are living within the same, contiguous area to everything that you want to do, certainly that's going to be a very big advantage. SWU actually has a lot more plans. The university and Phinma, of course, we have a lot more plans on how to develop that area some more. And unfortunately, the pandemic has stopped some of those initiatives, but we're definitely pushing through with that, because that's going to be important for us, that we develop this as SWU Village or SWU Town.
And you just mentioned it. It's again a project still under development. There's room for growth. So where are you in the building phase? When is the expected turnover of the units for this one?
June, we're already finished with the
Structure.
the structure of the first building, right?
Yes, building one will be completed by end of this year, and should be available for occupancy by the first quarter of next year.
Okay. For turnover already. For what about the Arezzo place in Davao? You mentioned 2 more buildings. What about the turnover of that and the building? Where are you already in building that?
If we're able to do as I'm challenging my sales manager, sell it out by October. So again, by the end of this year, we should have more or less completed our turnover for all the units.
That's for
End of
Davao.
this year to about first quarter of next year. That's for
Okay,
Davao.
for the ones, so for Uniplace in Cebu and for Arezzo in Davao, same target. End of the year, and turnover can be within first quarter next year. What about for Metrotown Las Pinas?
Metrotown is a little
Because you
still
just
at
started. Yeah,
the
soft
early
selling pa
stage.
lang eh. Yeah.
Yes. So 5 buildings, 330 units per building. So I think construction will start for building 1 sometime in 2022.
Okay.
That's
And
for
that's the
building
start
1.
of construction pa lang.
That's the
Give or
start of
take
construction.
a year, 2 years?
Yeah,
How's the projection?
about that time for a building. Although this year we're already scheduled to start land development for the entire site.
That's the one in Las Pinas. Anyway, when it comes to NCR, I think, there's always something expected to be going on. It's already pretty much, there's a lot of projects, and even Phinma has a lot going on in NCR. It's more exciting to turn your sights to Cebu and Davao to explore markets, opportunities there. And those are more practically beyond the horizon. It's near already, end of the year to first quarter next year. So it's something a lot of our investors, prospective homeowner buyers can definitely take a look at, not just for themselves, but for their children, especially those who are, college level.
We're moving out slowly outside of Metro Manila. There will be another project coming up towards the last quarter of this year. This will be under the Maayo line. This will be in Batangas.
Ooh.
Yes, and then the sister project of that is in Davao, the Maayo Tugbok in Davao.
I think that's something we can talk about in another podcast.
Yeah.
But okay, so let's wrapping up the three projects under Phinma Properties that we talked about today. That's Metrotown in Las Pinas, Arezzo Place in Davao, and Uniplace at SWU in Cebu. How are you? You gave the pressure, the goal to your sales manager, to your sales heads. How do you market these properties to target audience? Because after all, it's not just about building. It's making sure you connect to consumers, to your target buyers. How are you able to do this, especially in the age of pandemic? How do you market your projects now?
Last year, we started very well. January, February, we were above targets. We were doing the same things, the plans that we had, executing them. And then the pandemic hit March. Okay. So we had, like all other developers, we had to readjust, realign, rethink our strategies. But one thing I learned when I was in the insurance industry was the best time to invest or to purchase is during times of crisis. So I sat down with my marketing team, and we came up with ideas. That basic idea revolved around empathy, because everybody was experiencing the same thing. You had fear, anxiety. So the campaign slogan was, "We are here for you. Don't put home ownership on hold. Don't put your lives on hold. Should you be ready to purchase your homes, we are here to help you out." So that campaign was very successful for us. We shifted from the usual face-to-face transactions to more of online transactions. We did a lot of virtual tours, 360 tours. Our payment system had to be online as well. But I think we adapted very well. In fact, we hit and exceeded our targets in
Congratulations.
2020, and we're starting off quite well again in the first quarter of this year. We're looking at expanding our reach to our OFW market, particularly with strong sales coming in from Davao and in our winding down Quezon City projects. So we're finding new ways to reach out to them without actually being there where they are. So that's one of the challenges that our team is looking at.
Being online has actually broken down barriers, physical barriers. So yes, the reach, the opportunity to connect more is there. And it's good to hear that Phinma has taken it upon itself to put in the necessary adjustments to be able to go and keep reaching other people, from making sure you have your online payments to those virtual tours, because again, being physically there is not necessarily anymore a requirement nowadays, right? There's more possibilities. However, I'm sure there were hiccups. So how did Phinma Properties cope with the building, pauses, postponements? Did you have to face these challenges?
Yes, we did. In fact, I have to salute my counterpart who's heading the construction group, Bobby Nguyen. He had a brilliant idea of housing our workers within the project site itself. So as Bob mentioned earlier, it was a containment bubble. So given that, there were some challenges, of course, providing decent quarters for them, food and everything, making sure that safety and health protocols were observed. But we managed, and we were not delayed in any way in the construction schedules. In fact, we also came up with a campaign that said, "Pandemic can't stop us because we are on schedule." So
Sir Bobby, lumabas uli. It keeps going back to how we started, how you said the company started. You know, it was to house our employees, to house our students, now to house our construction workers. There is an innate, successful bayanihan
Yeah.
spirit within your company. And that's why you manage to keep going. And it's coming
Yes.
out through this sharing. I mean, I know discussions are usually, okay, what do you offer? What do you want people to know? We're getting a lot more than that because you're really getting to know the people behind the company and the company's ways, culture. Right, Sir Bobby?
Yep. And that culture reflects itself even in our choices of businesses, the types of projects we get into, and the way our people are expected to behave under all of these circumstances, especially when things are in crisis.
Mm-mm.
And so, and we're very happy with how our people have responded to the needs of the times.
How does Phinma Properties showcase the best of Philippine real estate?
The best of Philippine realty can be seen when the projects that we develop deliver what the people need. It is not when we are able to make tons of money. It is not when we are able to crow about our achievements. It is when when people who buy our units are so proud of what they have acquired that they will talk about it with others, that they will live a life that is worth living.
Like you said, it starts with the market. You see what's missing, and you say, okay, let's provide. In that case, let's
Let's
provide.
provide.
Wonderful. Thank you for that, Sir Bobby. Sir June, anything you want to add to that?
I think Bob said it very well. We take pride in that. We've had experiences where we've had buyers who bought in one particular project, for example, Quezon City, very satisfied with that project. So happens that they are they have to move to the south because of work arrangements. So they move to the south and look for. Do you have a project there? So
Yeah.
thankfully
So
we
they
have.
had to ask Phinma again, you know,
Yes.
like hindi na kami maghahanap sa iba. It has to be a Phinma project din po.
Yeah. Once you, I think, I mean, mayabang ako 'cause I'm from sales, but once you buy one, you get hooked to it, I think.
How about Phinma Properties' future plans? We only discussed 3 projects today. In fact, you treated us to a 4th, but that can be expounded on later on, you know, Batangas. But, you know, future plans as a company, Phinma Properties. After all, nowadays, innovation is key to building the future of real estate. So how does Phinma Properties intend to ride this wave of innovation in the real estate industry? Sir Bobby?
Well, um, there are going to be more projects, of course, and the different projects are going to, of course, take into consideration the needs and the wants of people. And as we have innovated already in the way we market and in the product itself that we are delivering, we will certainly be doing that. In the end, I will go back to the fact that more than gimmicks, we will be fulfilling a need to deliver quality homes at an affordable price. It is not going to be innovation for the sake of innovation. It is going to be innovation that gets people to get the home that they deserve.
That was wonderfully put. One last before we say goodbye to these 2 fine gentlemen. You mentioned, I think it was Sir June who mentioned it. Times of crisis will always provide some sort of opportunity. Why is investing in real estate now, especially, a must? Why should you to our listeners, invest in real estate? What would you say to that? How would you answer them?
Well, Bob, you want to go ahead or?
Sige. You know, when I moved my family from a rented apartment to the first home that we owned, it was a great sense of achievement for me that I was able to do that for my family. When you invest in a quality home that is priced within your means, where your family can thrive, when you have a space, a safe space where your hopes and your dreams can flourish, then I think all of us should be working towards achieving that. We want all of you to experience this same sense of achievement, this same sense of safety, this same sense of hope that the future is going to be much brighter.
Who wouldn't want that indeed? I think Sir June is like, may dadagdag ka pa ba? Wala na.
Parang
I
ayoko
thought
na.
it was perfect, di ba? It's one of those, I agree.
Linya nga namin, sabi nga ni June our current tagline is choose home, choose hope.
Choose home, choose hope. Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, let's definitely not. I know today was really just mostly about getting to know Phinma Properties, the people behind Phinma Properties. We got more than that. Thank you for the inspiration. Everybody needs to be cheered on nowadays. Life does go on. Let's look to the future with hope. It's hard times, but there are opportunities. I think that is one of the things that will make this podcast extra special. And it's great to hear from both of you. Thank you, Sir Bobby. Thank you, Sir June. Before I let you go, any final words, messages for our listeners? After all, we're across the board, not just here in the Philippines, in the region as well. And how can they get in touch with Phinma Properties? How do they get to know more about Phinma Properties?
We have our website. People can access that. We have our list of projects there. But in parting, I simply want to say that we started it with that particular campaign, but we are here for you. We understand what every Filipino is going through, but that shouldn't stop us from achieving our dreams. So we are one with you in your desire to fulfill those dreams. So we are here definitely to be your partners and to assist you towards achieving that goal.
Sir Bobby?
I echo what June has said. We have a website. We've got a sales team that's ready to exercise their Tama characteristics. They will take care of you as a prospective homeowner in our projects, and we certainly welcome the opportunity to be able to work with the Filipino to be able to work towards making lives better.
Cheers! That's www.phinmaproperties.com, and they're also on Instagram at Phinma Properties Official. Thank you very, very much, gentlemen. Again, Sir Bobby Lavinia and Mr. June Garcia from Phinma Properties. It was such a pleasure having a chat with you this afternoon. And if I may, I'd also like to share Realty TV Podcast social media accounts. If you want to learn about us too, please do visit our website. That's PhilippineRealtyTV.com. We're on Facebook as well. That's Philippine Realty TV. And on Instagram at PhilRealtyTV. Please do subscribe to Philippine Realty TV and Realty TV Podcast on YouTube channels. So thank you, gentlemen. I'm Isa Litton. Thank you very much for joining us, and stay tuned for more episodes of Realty TV Podcast.
Thank you very much, Isa.
Thank you, Isa.